Next game, a top 5, possibly a top 3 matchup of the week. We have the Dallas Cowboys versus the Seattle Seahawks. High-quality football coming from both of these guys. If you take away all the turnovers in the first quarter for the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, that was pathetic. But other than that, both of these offenses look good. They look in mid-season form. I like both of these teams. Let me hit you with the projections because I think this is going to produce a lot of fantasy football points. Dak Prescott, I think, is my number 1 rated quarterback this week in terms of fantasy projection. With respect to Russell Wilson, who's also very high. Zeke Elliott play every week. I think Cooper actually has a very nice game. Gallup is a start. I like what CeeDee Lamb is doing. He's a start. And then we mentioned Dalton Schultz. I think he's actually pretty solid as well, although I think you can do better in the matchup this week. Seattle's doing a much better job covering the tight end this season. For Seattle, Russell Wilson, obviously a start. He might be my number 2 or number 3. I think he's number 3 for me this week in terms of projections, but definitely a start. How could you not, man? 9 touchdowns. What is he on projected 9? Was that 9 times 8? He's on target for 72 touchdown passes this season. Unreal.
He's in the MVP discussion right now.
Oh, absolutely. So Seattle Seahawks, very good, viable. At this point, I think they're my NFC favorites or at least co-favorites. Love what Seattle's doing. Chris Carson's a start. I'm a sit on Hyde. I actually don't like the matchup for Lockett this week. I think Metcalf goes off this week. Love it for Metcalf. And then Olsen could sneak into the end zone, but that could also be Disley, so I'm kind of selling on tight end there with the distribution. So why don't you take it away, David?
I'll just say you're starting everybody across the board right here. This could just be a repeat of this Falcons Cowboys game we just saw last week, where both teams are scoring about 40 points, and basically everybody's a good start. We saw Calvin Ridley was a good start. Hayden Hurst was a good start this past week. Russell Gage was a good start. Julio Jones wasn't. He was the only one. You talk about the Cowboys on the other side. Zeke was a good start. Amari, CeeDee, even Gallup had a big play to kind of salvage his day. It wasn't terrible. Dalton Schultz had the huge game. The one guy who really stands out to me, it's got to be CeeDee Lamb, because you talk about the Seahawks and what have they allowed a lot of the past 2 weeks. It's that slot receiver production. You talk about week 1. Seattle played Atlanta. Russell Gage playing from the slot. 9 receptions, 112 yards and a touchdown. You talk about this past week, Julian Edelman, I believe 9 receptions again. He had his career high in receiving yards against this Seattle Seahawks defense. So they're just allowing the slot receiver to feast right now. CeeDee Lamb, we saw it this past week. He's starting to emerge. Right now, he might already be ahead of Michael Gallup in the pecking order. He's outscored him throughout the first 2 weeks. He's getting the easier cornerback matchups playing in the slot. He's getting the higher catch rate targets playing in the slot. So I think CeeDee Lamb, he's a good bet for 100 yards and maybe a touchdown this week as well.
Yeah, I think, last night in particular, Diggs going out of the game, that hurt. But, you look at Seattle and you're talking about like slot, they play Atlanta and Russell Gage the first week. And then you play New England and you know how Edelman kind of works the middle of that field there. But the bottom line is Dallas has talented receivers. So for that matchup, I agree with you. I think it'll be a good one. Look, I love Seattle. I think, again, if at the worst for me right now, they're NFC co-favorites. But they were my preseason pick to represent the NFC in the championship game. I love what they did against the New England Patriots. Look, New England Patriots are good, man. But Seattle's just that good. People always sleep on them against the spread. They always sleep on them in futures. I like what Seattle's putting together. Let me hit you with the line. Dallas +3 against the Seahawks. Who do you have?
That's tight. I'm going to go. I have another question, too. I would like to know, and I seriously doubt you have the answer to this. If it's in Seattle, are they pumping the crowd noise into, like, their average decibel level?
No, I don't think they're doing it. They're doing it on TV, but they're not doing it on the field.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I think it's the opposite. I think that, or not the opposite. I think they are pumping it into the field. I think it's both TV and the field. I think they can hear it there. It's over the loudspeakers. I could be wrong. We'll have to do that.
I could be wrong too. I don't think so, but I don't know, because I know there are league rules about what you can pump in. So if they're doing it, it's really for players' benefit, but it shouldn't be anything that would hurt the opposing team's offense. I don't think they're manufacturing home crowd noise or anything like that. But again, I truly don't know the answer to it.
I'll take Seattle, but I do like it to be a close game because that Dallas Cowboys offense is heating up.
I agree with you. I think it'll be a close game. Both of these teams, I love the style. Actually, Dallas has come out a lot sharper than I thought they would. They are, I think, my favorites to win the NFC at this point, so I'm changing my preseason prediction just based on early returns. They just look more mature than Philadelphia does. But it's Seattle, man. When I wrote down the score, I would have put this line at a Seattle -3. But Russell Wilson, I like him more than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott usually shrinks in these tough games. So I'm going to take Seattle to cover the spread. I think it's a close one. I don't feel great about it. This is one of these games I'm just going to tune in and love watching. So we'll both take the Seahawks there, I believe.